just make a little short video explaining on the little Miser D150 build. Some of the parts that was used. It was a van lower control arms, 1978 and up van lower control arms. The airbags for the front was the 7-inch slam specialty airbags, and then got a C-notch kit basically from eBay, just some generic kit. The axle flip kit came with the truck. It was actually a General Motors C10 Chevrolet kit. I made it work. I did have to weld part of it to the rear end. If you have the proper one, you won't have to do that for the Dodge. And I put a shackle drop kit, which they sell them at AutoZone. Most of your AutoZones will keep that shackle drop kit for one of them trucks. The wheels that are on the truck are discontinued rocket wheels. It's a little Miser 225 Super 6 2-barrel truck. The same carburetor as what's on the 318s is on that engine. 833 overdrive, 4-speed. Just a fun little old truck. I'll post some pictures of the parts numbers. I'm not real good at this sharing links and stuff. I don't have that kind of knowledge to share links to where you're just going to order the parts. But you'll see the part numbers from Summit Racing that I got. There's going to be one part that I got from Amazon. It's the little air ride controller that runs the bags to where you can control how much air goes in each individual bag. And it's just a little old generic analog gauge type. It's not computer controlled at all. When I very first bought the stuff from Summit, when you'll see on the picture of the receipt, I got an air compressor that was not big enough to do what I needed to do, so I had to go send it back and then get a bigger 200 psi air compressor. But there's not no kit. The airbags that I got for it was for a GM of some, I can't remember the exact year. I actually did have to cut 1 inch off of the plate that they had made on it to get it to fit. If you're going to do an air ride on one of these trucks, you don't really have to put that van lower control arm. You can use a stock truck lower control arms with it. These slam specialty bags that you get from Summit, they have a bump stop inside them, so you can just cut the bump stop completely off the truck and you can finish the metal. You'll see in the video how I did that one, but the bag itself has a bump stop in it, so you don't have to worry about putting a bump stop on the front. The shocks, I used 78 Camaro front shocks and 72 C10 Chevrolet truck shocks for the rear. And the little old bolt that comes with the 72 truck shocks, I put it in the lower control arm for the mounting, drilled a hole in the lower control arm for the mounting point. How I did it is just how I seen fit to do it. Is it the right way? Probably not. There's probably somebody out there that has a better way of doing it, but this will give you an idea on some of the parts that you need and everything to build your own like this, make it a little easier, since there's basically no support for the Dodge trucks whatsoever out there, and you just have to piece together stuff yourself that you figure and work. This should save somebody a little bit of trouble and everything. I appreciate y'all watching the video. Is there anything wrong with repurposing parts? This right here is the bump stop from the rear end, transformed into the upper shock mount. After I get it bolted on there and everything, I'll clean it up and paint it. Shoot you a little quick video of how I lowered this 82 d150. It's a little miser truck. And some of the stuff that I used, and whenever I bought the truck it had some of the stuff and I used some of it, and then I bought and added stuff to it. These airbags have bump stops built into them. They're from Slam Specialties. I got them from Summit Racing. There is no kit. I had to put pieces together. Them shocks right here, these shocks from AutoZone, they're for the front of a 78 Camaro. And the little upper bracket that you see right there that I bolted on there for that upper shock plate was actually the bump stop from the back rail where the C-notch was. Where I put the C-notch, it was a back rear bump stop, so you could just take them off and move them to the front on both sides for your front shocks. The rear shocks plate, this is an axle flip kit that came with the truck whenever I bought it. It's a Chevrolet actually. They do have Ram. Of course Chevrolets, all the stuff is cheaper, but anyway, if you do use a Chevrolet flip kit, you have to set your pinion angle back and you have to weld it in. The Ram ones that they sell are non-weld in. The shock plate there is off of a B body, and the shocks that I used right there are for the front of a 72 Chevrolet truck. and you can use the bottom bolt that comes in that shock kit. You drill a hole in your control arm there, and that's your bottom shock mount for the front. So 78 front shocks for a Camaro, and then 72 front shocks for a C10 Chevrolet truck, and it gives you all the hardware that you need to mount it. Now, I'm not saying this is the right way, it's just the way that I did it. I'm no engineer by no means at all. I just did a front airbag suspension on it. I did not want to cut the bed and put a 4-link and put the rear end up into the bed. But I'm going to say, I think with the leaf spring drop and the axle flip, I think I moved the rear end about, I think it was 8 inches, 9 inches. I can't really remember the exact amount of inches that I dropped it, but this is a little Miser 4-speed truck. Good fun driver. We had a print shop here in Hiawassee, Georgia, do the wood grain on the side vinyl wrap. I'll put pictures in too so you can see the thing. We put a satin clear on it to where the vinyl wrap would stick to it, because you can't stick that over rough paint. This truck doesn't have the options that the black truck has. It's just plain Jane dash, no gauges other than the amp and the fuel. This truck didn't even come with a radio. I think whenever it was delivered to the dealership, it didn't even have a bumper, because it had a step bumper that was from a local dealership up in Tennessee when it sold new. It's the 225 slant 6. Of course, the air controller, the compressor and everything fits under the hood right there. It's a 5-gallon holding tank for the air ride. But you can see the differences in the two engine bays. I had to delete the washer, windshield washer out to fit that. Of course, it's this old school 70s camper top with the bubble windows. At one time, I think this whole top was blue, or partly blue anyway. A lot of it's faded. You can see the bed. The reason why the bed floor had some rust in it, so I just put Pour 15 on the rust inside the bed. It was just surface rust, just to stop it. And that bumper, I think, I'm not sure if that came off the truck or if it was off of a Ram Charger. It was already on there. The man that owns it, Jimmy, the man that's buying it back from me, he's the one that put the bumper on it. Most of these trucks came from the factory. If you'll look right there, there's 2 screws for the tag, and then there's a tag light right there. They come with no bumpers, and the dealers would add a bumper to them. That's all how they did it back in the 80s. So you put a pistol grip shifter in this one, and there's a pistol grip shifter in my black one. That's the Rocket wheels. They discontinued them wheels. You can't get them. They're 17, I think they're 17 by 8 or 17 by 9 wheels. The wheels was on it whenever I got it. Jimmy had bought some of them wheels. This red one is a 1982 Dodge Miser, and this is a 1983 Dodge Miser. This 83 has a few more options. It's got gauges, factory gauges and stuff. Of course, I put the pistol grip shifter in it. This sticker, what's left of it, it shows some of the options. Of course, right here, the YS2 is the Ram Miser package. These was designed to be economical. I bought this truck from a friend of mine. He's actually buying it back. After I got it all built, I bought the camper top and put on it. He had the wheels and tires. It was not lowered. I did the lowering. He had the idea of doing the wood grain. I had mentioned doing something else, and he had the idea of wanting some wood grain on it, so